The KTRE, they joined the sports director there, the hair, Ryan Smith. Hey, buddy.
That's a first. That's a first one. I haven't been called that yet. I've been called a couple of different nicknames, but Hollywood was one of them. Is the funny thing, but the hair's a new one. The hair's a new one. How's it going, guys?
All right, my man. All right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. It's just another beautiful day down here in Lufkin.
Okay, you got some key games going on in your backyard. Tell us about them.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start with the big one. You mentioned it just a second ago. Tyler coming down to Lufkin A. Martin Stadium. It's going to be a really good game. I know Tyler is coming off of a big win last week against Seagoville, 63-0. Lufkin also coming off of two really big wins against Nacogdoches in week 2, and then this past week blowing out Little Rock Southwest 76-0. And this is a team that started off the season very well known around these parts. Lufkin and Longview was our week 1 game of the week. Didn't go the way the Panthers wanted in that game. Big loss there for them up at Lobo Stadium, but they were able to bounce right back, pick up 2 big wins, like I said, against Nacogdoches and Little Rock Southwest. And earlier today, I got the chance to talk with head coach Carl Abseck of the Lufkin Panthers, just, about the locker room after that loss against Longview, and then how they were able to respond and rip off these 2 wins heading into Friday night's game against Tyler.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look here.
They want to win. They've worked hard for it, and I couldn't. Everything I've asked to do, they've done, and so when you don't have the success, you have 2 responses: one, to go back to work and fix things, or you can pout and whine about it, and you're not going to find the success that you want. And our kids responded the right way. They got back after it on Saturday morning and watched the film, and you go through the growth of watching that and being critiqued, and then they went back to work on Monday fixing things, and they've done that every week, since then, because at the end of the day, it's about us and about us being the best version of us that we can be. So that's what we spend our time on.
Well, Ryan, I see all these guys doing all these drills in the background, and it gives me a little bit of PTSD.
No. No, I get that.
Well, I will say, when he talks about, the team kind of coming together at this time, Michael, I know we've talked about this pretty much since we started Red Zone.
Yeah.
Seems like every single coach wants a little bit more of that, let's get together, let's work as a family,
Right.
Get out on that field. That's kind of their motto.
Well, and what they're trying to do is build continuity, and this is the preseason. Once you get to district play, you rely on that type of method more than any other time of the year, because now it really does count, and it can go a long way as to whether or not you make the playoffs.
Definitely. Well, Ryan, when you were talking to him, did you pick out anything specific that, might be good leading into this weekend that they're going to bring to the field?
I mean, it's just going to be sort of the same thing that they have been doing ever since, that first Longview game. I know they got off to a hot start and then just really couldn't sustain it. You get into Nacogdoches, and something that's really impressed me in that game and in this Little Rock Southwest game this past week has been special teams, and mainly the kickoff on both sides. To open up against Nacogdoches, they had a huge kickoff return that got them all the way down just outside of the red zone, and they're able to punch it in. Short fields are obviously a big thing, and at any level of football, but especially when you get at the high school level, and defenses can be a little bit suspect at times. And later in that game, they were able to kind of catch Nacogdoches off guard and sneak an onside kick in there and able to recover it. And they did the exact same thing against Little Rock Southwest this past Friday. So that was something I did ask him about that. We didn't put that soundbite, but I did ask him about that. And he was talking about how, they take 25 minutes to talk about, or to go through special teams during practice each day, and then 10 minutes during these meetings to talk about special teams. So it's an important part. It's always that underrated part of football where it's like, you think about the offense and defense is that, this team has an elite offense, this team has an elite defense, but these really great teams, they're great in all 3 facets. And it's always a good thing, if you don't necessarily talk about special teams, but when you are, it's generally not a good thing, because that means something's messing up. But in this case, so far it's been really good, because obviously you get those onside kicks and you get the big kick returns and you have the big punt returns, and the kicking game at the high school level, like I said, is kids are out it can be a little bit difficult, especially they don't have the legs that these college and NFL guys have, obviously, and it can be difficult, but still just having a good special teams and something that you're able to rely on and not, worry about having them, mess up is a big thing. And so far, Lufkin's special team has really impressed me through the two couple games that I've been to for them in Nacogdoches and again last week against Little Rock Southwest.
Well, special teams are very important. I mean, Dick Vermeil made a living as a special teams coach before he became a head coach and won a Super Bowl because the thing about special teams, you're paying attention to detail. That's the name of the game.